Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. First off, I am sorry I haven't posted for just over a week. I have been so busy. I've been on holiday. I've been to visit my mum out in France. That's where she lives. So I've left my hubby there for another 3 weeks working on her garden, and I've come home because I've got work and I wanted to make some more videos for you. So yes, this is what I've been doing. Now to start off with, I've come back with a really lovely, quick and simple video on how to make this beautiful card. It's all in creams and ivories, and it's got the delicacy of the vellum over the top. So I absolutely love this. I'm going to show you now how I put this together. Really quick and simple, but really adaptable to work with whatever you've got in your stash. That's my first card back after my little summer holiday. I thought I would do something nice and quick and we get straight back into some really pretty card making. So I have got a piece of cream card. Now I'm not sure what it is. I've got it from Lime Tree Crafts and it's just their ivory card. So it's just, I'll show you here. You can see it's very slightly textured. It's not a watercolour card, but it's really nice. It's got slight texture to it. It's a lovely ivory card. So if I put the white piece next to it, you can see it's not yellow and it's not a cream. It's just, well, it's ivory. It's off white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a topper, a 4 3/4 by 6 inches. Now, the sizing was because I started with my card base. So this was a Lime Tree Crafts card base to fit a 7 by 7 inch envelope. So it was 6 3/4 that way by 6 3/4 that way. And I've cut, I've just cut, what have I cut off? 1 1/4 inches off the width to get it to 6 3/4 by 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 by 6 3/4. So just cut off 1 1/4 there, and I've got that. So I actually work backwards, which is really, really unusual for me. I usually work the other way. Now, as you can see, if I put the cream next to it, it's a white card base. And I wanted to use cream on my card. That's making that look quite yellow because it's such a white. So what I needed to do, and I'll show you here, is I have put a piece of cream onto the white card base. If I can get the card base to open. What's happened to my card base? Is it stuck shut? No, it's there. Just me not opening it. So I stuck a piece of cream onto the white card base, exactly the same size. So to all intents and purposes, this now looks like an ivory card base. And I've then stuck a piece of pink card on. So this is just a piece of really nice, pretty dusky pink. I've taken out the centre because my pink is definitely dwindling. So I thought I would reserve everything that I could. So what's going to happen then is we're going to pop, well, I'm going to put a couple of pieces on like that. So I've got one piece that's slightly bigger that's going to fit on there. So we've just got, you can see why I only needed to the outside. So I've cut all the middle because it's hidden. And then this is my topper, just slightly smaller than that. So actually, I think what I might do now is I might stick that onto there. So pin flare. Now I've had a week away and my pin flare is saying it's not playing ball. It wasn't last night when I was prepping. Oh, it's coming out today. That's good. So let's get a bit of glue on there. It's not coming out as fast as I would have hoped, but perhaps that's good. Perhaps it will make me control the glue a bit better. Put that on there, all the way across. And then we can put that on here. Now, by using wet glue means I can move it all around and I can get it exactly where I want it to get those perfect borders all the way around. Because I've saw quite a few people recently been asking questions about how to get the perfect border. Use your wet glue and then it means that things can be moved and just moved around. So there we go. So that's like that. So then what I would do is I would take a stamping platform and something weighty and put that on the top, and that will then press really, really firmly. So let me move that out of the way. So we're going to go back to my card topper. As I said, 4 3/4 by 6 inches. I quite like that. I know 4 by 6. Where are we? That's 6. So 4 by 6 is quite a standard, but I like 4 3/4. It just feels a bit better to me. So all we're going to do, really simple, and I'm going to pop some blue ink on. I just picked ocean blue. Now you can pick any blue that you've got, and now you could do this either way. I'm going to emboss this, so you could ink and then emboss, or emboss and then ink. I'm going to ink and then emboss, so I'm just going to pop that onto here, and I'm just actually going to grab my mat because my mat means that I can then put on there. So I'm going to bring it out a little bit and then bring it up to here. Just now, I'm actually going to cover most of this with vellum. So you can go quite strong with your colour because it's going to, you know, get hidden. Now, what I would say is, remember, this will be adaptable to any embossing folders that you've got, any cardstock you've got. So if you've not got ivory or cream like I'm using, then you can just change it to whatever you've got. You don't have to use blue, you can use whatever colour you've got. So that is then going to go through my embossing folder. This is a tattered lace one. I think I put the folder away. It's just like, oh, it's not even a burlap. I was thinking it was burlap, but it's not. It's just like a broken... It's supposed to look like sort of fabric. So with tattered lace, if I remember rightly, the logo goes on the top and then we put that in there and then we run it through our die cutting machine. To whatever platform you've got, you can make it work for you. And when that comes out, this is what you've got. Now, if you want it to go a little bit darker, you can add a bit more ink on as you want. And actually that will then pick up some of the texture as well, but I wanted it to go quite deep onto there, so that's why I inked it before I embossed it, so that it really penetrated down. So that potentially is nearly ready to put on the card base, but I just want to do one more thing. So what I want to do is get some vellum. Now I've already ripped one side. Let me just straighten that off a bit. Actually, that shouldn't matter because that's going to be behind. And I'm going to just tear down another bit. Now the whole point is, I could have put a ruler on. I could have put a ruler like this and then teared against the ruler, just like this, and I get such a fairly, you know, a torn but straight edge. That's not what I want. I want texture. So I'm going to grab it like this, and I'm tearing from above so that, I just want to get a bit wider there, I get this white edge. There we go, just like that. Keep that vellum, we're going to need that in a minute. And then I'm going to grab this again. So what we're going to do now, this is my top tip for this, is do this in advance, because vellum is quite hard to get it to dry, you know, your inks to dry. I could have used a stays on ink, but I'm not. I'm going to use my Memento and I'll show you how I get it to work. And I'm going to use my Funky Fossil. It's the Funky Fossil Shoot for the Stars. I love this. So it's just, and you can see it better on here, it's just Shoot for the Stars, but it's got some lovely script on. But I don't want it that you can, it's not particularly so you can see the script. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink randomly. I don't want it to do a straight edge, so I'm just going to ink like that. Now you notice I've not put it on a stamping block. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it around just at a little bit of an angle because I find it easier. And I'm just going to pop that on to there. Now this one's a little bit, oh, I've got it upside down. It's all right. I can just turn my vellum around in a minute. And I'm just going to press it randomly. So if there's bits that's missed, that's fine. Look at that. So I've got light and dark. That's perfect. So that's all I want. I want the hint of text rather than actual text. I can still see some of it, but it's not come too far off the edge. So that's all I'm going to do with my script. Now I've turned it my way up. And then I'm going to get 2 of my Distress Oxide sprays. Now, if you've not got Distress Oxide sprays, all you needed to do would be put a little bit of ink on here. You could do like that. And then get something like a Wink of Stella pen, which I had a few minutes ago. I'd put it away. Get a little bit of that. And then, there you go. You've got your own sparkly spray. So that one you could use and then splat on like that. You need to pick it up like that. That's one way of doing it. We're not going to do it that way this time. Let's get rid of that off there. What we're going to do is we're going to get our Distress sprays. I should just give it a little bit of a shake. I always forget. And then I'm going to just undo it. I'm not going to spray it, and I'm just going to undo it, and I'm just going to give it a nice tap. Bit stronger colour than doing it with your inks. If I was going to do it with ink, I'd just use that blue one because it was to hand. I'd probably find a darker colour. Blue one, the ball bearing did not rattle in that blue one. And then the pink. Now, as I said, this is vellum, so it does need to dry. Do you notice how I'm actually tapping the tube to get the ink out, and then it will all come out plenty, you know, get lots out. So I'm going to leave it at that, and then I'm just going to leave that to dry. Now the one I did, I actually put together last night, and I've left it to dry overnight. Let me fetch that one in, and this is what I've got, and I'm going to show you. Look, I can rub on there and it doesn't smudge. My colours don't smudge either, which is absolutely perfect. Right, I'm dropping things. So I've got this, and I'm going to wrap it round my card base. Right, so I've got this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap that over. So can you see what we've done? You've got strong blue, then we sort of mute it down a little bit. I'm going to sort of centre that text, and then I'm just going to fold that one over, just like that. And I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to get my pokey tool, and I'm just going to score along there. Now if you measure it, because of the you know, turning it around, it will always pull it a bit tight. So I'm just going to put that, let's just move that over a little bit. Now if you want the blue coming out, you can add a little bit more. Now I'm not going to put glue behind, and I'll show you why in a minute, because I don't, well, basically because I don't want it to be visible. So all I'm going to do is get a couple of bits of red liner tape, any width of red liner tape, cut a piece off, and then I'm going to turn this round, and I'm just going to, I could actually put that underneath there, couldn't I? I wasn't going to do that, but I will. And let's put that one just there. Red liner tape is so strong, and we're going to be using some foam tape in a minute. Make sure you always burnish your red liner down. So let's make sure I've got that in the right place. The good thing is, actually, you can lift vellum off red liner if you wanted to, if it wasn't quite right. Now, it's bowing a little bit, but it'll be fine in a minute. So what I'm going to do then is grab that, grab my red liner, my foam tape. It's my 621 as always, and we're going to pop this on. And we're going to go over that foam tape so that we're catching it down. One. As I said, this is a really super quick and easy card. I don't want to be doing first one back. I don't want to be doing anything too complicated. So I thought we'd go nice and straightforward. Now look at that. How did I get 4 pieces of exactly the right length? They're all perfect, aren't they? That was a fluke. That was a happy coincidence. So let's take that off. As always, remember to press it down, and then the backing comes off. I've got a static piece of red liner there. There we go. And as always, I'm going to pop a little bit of PVA glue on the back. So first time of using this, make sure it's got any residue off. There we are. And that can go onto here. I really am not a tidy crafter. I tidy up afterwards, but while I'm actually crafting, it gets chaotic. Absolutely chaotic. So I love this. So look at that. I've got my text the right way up. I don't think I need that for a minute. And I've got my card the right way up. And then I can put that on there. Isn't that pretty? Really soft and delicate. Really, really do like that now. I'm just a little bit low at the top. So let's just... Do you see it? I was able to lift because it had wet glue on. Let's just pop that like that. There we go. Perfect. Isn't that pretty? Really pretty, and I love that. So yeah, we're going to leave that as that for a few minutes, put that to one side, and I'm going to do some decoration, simple decoration, and I'm going to grab one of my Sizzix dies. So this is the butterfly. I love this one. Now this butterfly, no, that's that one. So this one doesn't have a matte layer, but if you want to make a matte layer, you can. So what I'm going to do is, I've got another paper that I found. Now, this is nameless. It's come in a packet with no name on. And can you see the shimmer on it? Can you see? Look at that. Can you see how that's reflected? It's not a cream. So this is a piece of the cream. So it's a very similar, but it's got a little bit more beige to it. Can you see, than the cream? But I think it's going to work really well. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take, I told you to keep that vellum. There we go. Keep that vellum. And I'm going to pop one on top of the other. just like that. And I'm going to find a bit with my butterfly, and then I'm going to cut those out. Just like that. Perfect. Now, vellum sometimes can be a bit difficult to cut. So by doing this, by putting the vellum on top of the cardstock, will mean your vellum will cut perfectly every time. It won't crack or tear. So put that in there. And then, oops, I might have to tape it down, because I think I'm going to have to change my folder. It's getting a little bit curved. So let's just take that like that, so everything stays. There we go. Little mini die cutting machine. You don't need fancy die cutting machines just to cut your vellum, and it'll cut through even your most basic of die cutting machines. Ooh. And then, yep, look at that, perfect. Look at that. So I have got vellum and pink. Isn't that beautiful? Really lovely. Cuts brilliantly by using the double layer, and it doesn't wear out your tape. So there we go. So I thought I could use those, but I thought if I use them like that, it might be a little bit too simple. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of pink, because we've used the pink spray, and I'm just going to very lightly, and it is lightly, I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to the edges, just to give it a little bit of interest. And I might do the same to the vellum. There we go. And I might do it this way this time. I might put a little bit of the pink down. Don't know if this is going to work. If not, I've got a pen. I'm just going to pick up some of the pink, and I'm just going to go down the centre with the pink. I just want it very, very lightly pink, but it's got that little bit of sparkle. Now you could go all over the vellum with the sparkle if you wanted to. You could even just sparkle some of the edges. Just sparkle up there. There we go. That's pretty, isn't it? That'll do. That will do. So those are my 2 layers. And that is going to go onto my card. So this is where I can now glue it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give, oh, I've got a couple of little pieces that need to pop. And I need to clean my pokey tool. So using my fingers, just fold it and then roll it just like that. Just like that. And this one. And just give it a bit of a shape. And on that side. And then I can decide where to put this. So I thought I could put it somewhere like about there. Now, if I put that there, that means that I can get my glue. I can't do it that way. Now, how am I going to do this? I know. I'll put a little bit on the back of here. Let's put it on the back of there. And then lift that up. Should put it on that way. Just put that there. And then press. And that's just going to hold it down, because you know it was like bowing and flapping, so now it won't. Just thought you can hide your glue. So remember, with vellums and things, you always need to hide your adhesive. We've hidden it behind there. So now I can pop that onto here. There's always a way. There's always a way. You just got to think through the project and how can you hide what you're going to do. And look at that shimmer on the vellum. Doesn't that look beautiful? Put that over the top so that they line up perfectly. And there we go. And if you need to get a little bit more pink in there, we can always add in a little bit more pink. Let's see if I can get a little bit more pink in there in the centre. Can I get a little bit more pink? I think I've wiped most of it off. I'm just picking up the pink with a damp paintbrush just to try and, yeah, I think that should be all right. Oops, doing things the wrong way around here. There we are. So I need to add a sentiment. And I've just used one of my sentiment pads, and I've got congratulations and enjoy your day. So I thought they could go like that. Now, have I got end? Now, I haven't used my 3D glue for a week. Can I get it out? It's always easier, for me, I find it easier with tweezers. That was a little blob coming out, that was a solid bit. So we can put one down here. Isn't this pretty and delicate? Really is. You can put that on that side, but I think it balances it. Well, it does for me. Put another bit on that side. Again, foam pads would work really well here. And I love how it's all sort of different, you know, a little bit off the vellum, a lot off the vellum there. And then the final little bit I thought I'd do is I'd grab some gems. So let's go, right tools for the right job, as we always say. So let's just go get a couple of these off. So that I thought this pink sort of matched that really well. So it's sort of, I could have done the splats on onto the paper, onto the card base, but I thought I wouldn't. I would do it this way. Let's put, there we go. Let's see if I can get a little one here and a little one of those. I've got quite a few of the pink little ones. There we go. Don't think I've got any blue. These are the only blues I'm finding. Let's just see if I could just add on a couple of these small ones. Let's just add a couple of these on. There, just like that. That'll do. I might actually take that one off there and put it down here. And then take that one off there. Put it up there. I've got a little bit of glue on there now. That's better, it's gone. There we go. And that is my card done. Isn't that pretty? Really light and delicate. And we've used the vellum twice, once to stamp on and once to sort of mute that blue, but once to also give the beautiful delicacy to the butterfly wings. Don't knock your sentiments wonky, Corrine. There we go. I really like that. Really pretty, really delicate, and really, really easy to achieve. But you'll be able to adapt it. Different embossing folders. You might have a different butterfly. Your script might be different. You might not want to use script. You might just want to use a background stamp. You know, use whatever you've got. Please, please have a look at what you've got in your crafty stash and try to make this sort of layout, this design, work with your products. But just remember, if you're inking onto vellum like I've done here, just give it time to dry and it'll thank you for it. So there you go. That's today's project. First one back after my holidays, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm sorry I was away for so long. Just couldn't get caught up before I went. So as always, there'll be a link to another video on the left. There will be a subscribe button on the right. It would be fantastic if you could subscribe if you don't already, and also click on that little notification bell up in the top corner so that you don't miss any future projects. And I will be posting my normal schedule now going forward. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below, and also please don't forget to click on any of the links, including the Buy Me a Coffee page, which I would really appreciate any support you can give. So until next time, my friends, you take care, and I'll be with you again very soon with another project. So until then, bye for now.